Alright, I'm going to be playing a tournament with Living Death Doomsday Excruciator. So it is a combo deck built around Living Death to basically reanimate your entire graveyard while also being a wrath for your opponent's board. And you fuel the graveyard by just playing a bunch of creatures with cycling, typically for 1 mana. And those also allow you to draw through your deck and actually find your combo, so it's very similar to Living Death in Living End in Modern, where you're having a bunch of Living Deaths, and then you just have a bunch of card draw to draw into both Living Death and your interaction for your opponent's hate cards. Except you're also playing a different combo with Doomsday Excruciator. Basically, it exiles all cards in both players' libraries except 6, so you just use that with Altar of Dementia to mill 6, and your opponent decks out. There are also quite a few cases where you can just play it without Altar, but it gets kind of interesting when you do that, because you do deck first due to the draw ability, but if your opponent removes Excruciator, they deck first. And then Altar is also relevant outside of Doomsday, because when you play Living Death, and your opponent, say, plays a Wrath of God to try to remove your entire board that you just made, you can mill either yourself or your opponent. And if you mill yourself, the next Living Death is going to have enough power in play to actually fully mill your opponent out. So that's pretty common against more controlling decks, or like decks with the Wraths. Which is why it's kind of important for them to have Pithing Needle against this deck. And yeah, so you just power out the combo with Dark Ritual plus Lake of the Dead to make a bunch of mana quickly. And the main interaction you're afraid of is counter spells. So you have Duress in the main, you have Defense Grid in the sideboard, just the best hate for counter spells. They really can't let this be in play, or it's extremely difficult to counter anything. There's also Wraths and Ritual of Soot to deal with the Legends decks. Those are supposed to be a good matchup, but sometimes they just kill you on turn 4 before you can do anything. And specifically against Legends, after you play Living Death, if you only reanimate like 3 or 4 creatures, they can actually make a bigger board than you by playing Anthems. Like if they have Force of Virtue plus Flowering, they can actually make 5/4s, and those can actually be an issue. The Graveyard Hate, so Erebos's is specifically for the Mirror, because you need to exile more than just a few cards to actually win on Living Deaths. The Mirror is really weird though, because if you Living Death, your opponent can Living Death back, and it gets weird. So it's mostly based on it's mostly just about who can do the Doomsday combo first. Lost Legacy also kind of for the Mirror, just other combo decks in general. Scarab Feast, it's okay in the Mirror, but it's more for the Necrotic Ooze decks, because that's a bad matchup normally, because they just combo faster, and Living Death is not great at actually stopping them. It can sometimes help them. So Scarab Feast is good against them. Ratchet Bomb just for hate cards in general, also okay against aggro. But yeah, this deck is really good, arguably the best deck in the format. I entered the last 3 tournaments with this deck, and I won 2 of them 6-0, and then got 2nd place in the most recent one. So, very good deck. I'm mostly playing it because I think it is one of the best decks in the format for beating Legends, or just Thalia aggro in general, because you can kind of not care about Thalia. Alright, it is round 1. This hand is not great. No mana, no Living Death, no Altar combo, only has 1 piece. It does have Cyclers, probably a Mole. This is definitely a keep. What am I putting back? Probably a Swamp. So very similar hand, except it has mana. Okay, so it is a counterspell deck. So, well, considering my hand, I probably can never get under them. So I need to play around their counterspells by having a lot of must counters, or playing multiple in 1 turn, or drawing Duress. Malcolm is a problem, and they can discard creatures. Not that it really matters. If they tap out, they do lose, but they probably never do that. probably should have played the tap plan, maybe? Maybe not. I might want to cycle it. So they are potentially playing the dual caster combo with dual caster mage and molten duplication. Just discarding burn. They could be missing a land drop because they played mountains, which are worse than islands because they don't cast counterspells, and they're probably playing primarily blue, so they would always play islands first, I think. I can take a peek now. If I have nothing, I do win, or I play a Living Death at least. I only have one counterspell. Okay, that is more than one counterspell. So, also nimble as well. Wow, they just have mono counterspells. So, what do I take here? I feel like any of these could be an option. It's probably never a leak, I guess. It's always either Pierce or Ionize. It's gotta be Ionize. Because I could potentially draw Lake, and then none of their counterspells work then. If they don't draw another island to have 2 leaks up. So I feel like it definitely should be Ionize. But I can't exactly do this combo anyway. They're probably just gonna do something here. Probably leak. Or did they Pierce? They get rid of Pierce. Interesting. So they just have 2 leaks. And also, the Nimble Obstructionist. Oh, I did not mean to get rid of that. That was a leak. Okay, so I can go... I think I play the Swamp here because I might want to cycle this low. I could have just played it because playing around Mana Leak is irrelevant, but I couldn't play around Mana Leak next turn regardless. Ill-timed. Okay, so they have Mountain. That doesn't do anything for them. Okay, so next turn, I can beat Mana Leak. So I maybe just win. Okay, they're playing something here. Hopefully it's just a whale, because that does nothing. Okay, please do not draw a blue source off of this. Okay, I think I win. I just go Living Death. They could have drawn another Ionize, or an Invert, no, not Invert Polarity, because that costs double blue. They could have another Ill-timed. I'm not sure why they discarded that. It might mean they actually have relevant cards. So I have to use Architects on them, no reason to use it on myself. So I put Ancestral on top. Probably put Deduce on the bottom. Okay, so it's Ancestral, Ionize, Deduce. This is a kill right here if they don't have Ill-timed. And they might only have a 3-mana card as their most expensive if they have Ill-timed. Okay, they're just dead. Yeah, they probably shouldn't have gotten rid of Ill-timed. They might not have had a card for it anyway. They could have had Whale, I guess. So I want Grids and Duress. Nothing else is good here. I wonder if they play Needle. They might not. Archfiend is pretty bad here. Maybe I side out one of each of the combo. That could be bad because they have Ill-time to deal with Living Death. But I don't know. I don't want to side out too many cyclers. I just go play some cyclers, maybe play grid. I don't want to play it on turn 2 because they have mana leak, potentially. So I need to draw some kind of thing. Okay, so I can play grid now. They could have spears. They don't. Or they don't have a thing to have it untapped. Oh, now I do have a play. So, I don't know how to go about this. They could have ill-timed. I mean, they could have spears up, I guess. But they're getting an ancestral the turn I play Living Death, and the turn after as well, so I am afraid of ill-timed for sure. They're drawing a lot of cards, so I kind of want Horror to be able to grow, so it can potentially get bigger than the ill-timed. Ooh, those are some potentially good cards. I can't do both. It's a bit unfortunate. I think Duress is more important, because Alter just allows me to mill myself. And that doesn't really do anything, because I still have to draw Living Death. So I'm just going to do this. They have the ill-timed. So I have to hope that they don't draw another one. And they actually have 2 turns, or they have another Ancestral in addition to the first one. So they have 4 cards here to look at. And then they have 5 or 6 more next turn. They have it? They do, okay. I would love to draw the demon, Excruciator. So, can they kill the Vantasaurs? If they can't, that could be very good for me. They can't even kill Horror, wow. They kind of whiffed off that. Yeah, it's really bad for them. And now they kind of have to do it again. I think they were really just hoping to find a expensive card. It's really bad for them now. So they need to find an actual answer to all of my creatures. They probably... Okay, so they're looking for it next turn. They're trying to stall this turn. That's really bad for them. I think I just win. And I find the Excruciator. That was unnecessary, but okay. I'll take it. Okay, so I'm now 1-0. Alright, it is now round 2. My opponent is playing a Lurrus deck. I don't know about this hand. It seems okay. I don't know how good Duress is, or if Archfiend is good. I feel like Duress is bad here. If it was good, I probably would have kept. This is a very similar hand. Basically, I traded an Archfiend for a Drit. But it's a 6, so I'll keep it. So it's... Myth Realized. I was gonna say it's White Weenie, or Mono White Humans. But why do they have Myth Realized? It's Heroic. I don't know why anyone is playing this in Heroic. It seems so bad for what Heroic wants to do. But okay. This is a really slow start for them. So Archfiend could actually be good here. It's normally too slow for against Heroic, but it might not be here. Because if you can have it in play before they play any creatures, you can just kill them as they enter. I think I'll just play it now. If I draw Living Death, maybe I play an Altar and just mill myself, and then I'll have plenty of creatures in the yard. Though, the main problem is the mana, and actually drawing Living Death. So they put Lurrus in hand. I don't cycle. I don't cycle here either because I can't kill the Lurrus anyway. And they don't have very much for a different creature that they would play. They play the Lurrus, have God's Willing, which does nothing. They don't have launch anymore. They just play a Defiant Strike. Okay, so Lake ends the game. Do I cycle now? I feel like no. Maybe I should. Because if they grow the Lurrus, they can gain life. Yeah, I guess I will right now. Nice timing for that. Okay, so I win next turn. There's really no way for me to lose. Because I don't think they really have any way to interact with the Excruciator. Or the Altar. There's no Mana Tithe. I guess Myth-Realized isn't too bad, since they probably aren't playing very many auras. So really the only downside is it's a creature that doesn't have Heroic. It also doesn't... You can't really make it a creature until you've already played some of your like Defiant Strikes. And to play your Defiant Strikes you have to have a creature, so... I just concede to the Archfiend. Didn't even see that I was about to kill them. So Filigree Silex and Ratchet Bomb are great here, even on the draw, I think. Erebos is a bit slow. Ritual of Soot is fine, I think. Because even if I play a Living Death to put their creatures in the yard, or if I play Ritual before Living Death, it's fine because I'm reanimating really small creatures. Because most of their strength comes from growing from the spells. So I don't think their creatures even grow that much. It's just favorite hoplite and stuff getting bigger from the heroic ability. The rest is probably terrible here. I don't think they are going to have interaction for either of my things. Maybe Disenchants. And the rest doesn't work against like Remorseful Cleric anyway. Archfiend I feel like is kind of bad here. It doesn't actually work if they're playing heroic cards on a favorite hoplite. So I will just do this, I think. I believe this is Littlefield's list. They played in the APAC Sunday, as well as Sunday, which was yesterday. This hand doesn't do much. It does have a Ratchet Bomb, which this list doesn't seem to be very focused on actually winning quickly. There are a lot of creatures like Kythian and stuff that don't really grow. They're just creatures. But I guess specifically Kithian is kind of good against Ratchet Bomb. I'm not really sure. I guess I'll keep. Maybe should mull because Living Death is a lot better than the combo, Excruciator combo here. So I just go cycle into Ratchet Bomb. Okay, so they have a Remorseful Cleric. So I guess maybe Living Death wasn't that good. So you can play around this by playing Living Death, and when they sack the Remorseful Cleric, you cycle some cards after the ability resolves, but before Living Death resolves. Don't want to play the altar until I've sacked the bomb, because I might be doing it on 2. So I have both combos. Benevolent Bodyguard. Oh, I didn't realize we had this. I didn't think we did. Okay. So if I draw a lake, I'm just playing altar here. I could just play altar. No, I'm not. I'm never just playing altar. I will see what they do first. I'll probably just crack it on x equals 2. The Benevolent Bodyguard doesn't do anything. Oh. That doesn't really matter. Double Strike could be relevant. If they make a largish creature with like Defiant Strikes. So they know I would rather kill the 2-drop, which is why they're putting the counters on the 1-drop, despite it being a Benevolent Bodyguard. I guess both creatures want to sack themselves, but... I'll cycle the land first. And the weaker creatures first. Wait, I forgot to put a counter on the Ratchet Bomb. What am I doing? That is unfortunate. I would have loved to just kill the cleric. That's so bad for me. That's actually a huge misplay here. Because now I can't just play Living Death. I could have just cycled 2 creatures and played Living Death. Maybe more. Probably more. Maybe not, probably, but... This is not lethal right now. But I can't cycle any creatures the turn I play Living Death, because that's going to be next turn. Living Death is also not really possible here. I am just dead. Yeah, I misplayed this for sure. I should have just cracked the bomb there. I kind of had to. Wait a minute. So I just go sack the bomb, play Archfiend, or do I cycle Archfiend and try to find exactly Lake? Because Dark Ritual doesn't work. I guess Double Drit would work. I think I play Archfiend. Oh, I'll just draw the Lake anyway. Yeah, I was talking earlier about this deck. I said it wasn't that good, and I was just getting lucky. I feel like that was probably correct. Like, I just keep drawing the perfect card on the last turn possible. And it keeps happening. I don't know. But yeah, I do just win the game now, and the match. Alright, I'm now 2-0. Okay, so... I'm not sure if I'll put this in the video, but I played a game against this person before, and there was a bug where Senu triggered while being in exile face down because of Doomsday Excruciator, which potentially lost me the game. So we are remaking the match. If anything, that probably helped me because they said they had a Chain Lightning in hand. And I don't know if I'll actually put the game in the video, probably not. But I was dead. Basically, I was dead unless I drew a Dark Ritual, Living Death, or a Lake of the Dead. Because it would allow me to play a creature and then activate Altar. And I can maybe cycle into some of them. But for this game, so I can play a Horror of the Broken Lands, or I can hope to find Living Death or Doomsday Excruciator later. I mean, if I play Horror, it blocks well, and I duressed their Flowering. Maybe I should actually look at their hand. So they can't really attack unless they have an Anthem, or I guess a Burn spell. So it probably stalls long enough where it's worth it. I don't think the mana is much of an issue. So I think it is correct to play Horror here. I'm probably losing this game. I basically just need to draw a thing. And I can't even play Doomsday right now unless I actually draw another land. So maybe that wasn't correct. Maybe I should have just cycled. I can stall for a while though, which is why I kept it. I'm probably blocking Kellen here, not Thalia. Because if they have a burn spell, I want to actually take out a creature. But I guess they can't play a burn spell if they... Well, it's probably just Chain. So they have to play it first. Or if they're playing it after Thalia dies, then I'm still killing a creature. Okay, so I have no information about their hand anymore. Okay, so they probably don't have a burn spell or a flowering. So that's good for me. I will play a duress, though it's almost certainly going to hit nothing. Maybe they drew a force, I guess, but they would have already played it, maybe? Maybe, because they probably wouldn't have played Thalia if they had a force. So, though if it wasn't with a... Oh, I should not have done that. I should have waited to cycle because it grows. I wasn't thinking about that. And also I should have played this. I should have played the swamp and just held up Lake. Though there are like no cards I could draw that would make me actually want to use it. We'll block Thalia here, because Burst Lightning doesn't kill the thing. They might just have another one. I think that was about equally likely of every creature. So I will cycle the Vantasaur here. I don't think growing really matters. They don't currently have something that cares about it. Oh, I win. Just draw Swamp plus Doomsday in 2 draws. I said something about... In this video, I already said something about getting lucky. And it happens again. Or I just top deck it. Though I guess I had plenty of time, so it wasn't really at the last second like it usually is. Not as lucky, you could say. It's funny, the bug could actually come up again. And it's actually pretty easy in this matchup for the bug to come up. So actually kind of... Like that could actually kind of soft ban Senu from the format. Which is kind of crazy. Alright, this hand is very good. Though I guess against Legends it's kind of questionable. Because it's a turn 4 kill that is slower if they have Thalia. I mean, it has cyclers though, so I could just Living Death as well if I drew into it. Or if I drew Lake, it would be a turn 3. Maybe turn 4. Okay, so next turn I'll play Altar if they don't play Thalia. Oh, they mulled the 4 and didn't have a 1-drop. Yeah, I don't know that they can really beat Doomsday now. They have Thalia though. No. They have a Mary with no other creature. So it's probably just over now. I also have a Ritual of Soot. I do feel kind of bad for winning this. Because they were probably winning game 1. If the bug didn't come up. Oh, I'm not playing that. Oh, that was a bad play. I should have cycled first in case I found a lake. No, that wouldn't have. Yeah, it would have mattered. I should have cycled first, because if I found a lake and 2 cyclers, I could have played Doomsday in 1. So I win by drawing any land that isn't tapped, or a lake. Well, a lake is also a land, but or a drip. And I found a land. And I do win the match now. I do hope they make top 4. That is an unfortunate way for them to lose. But I guess I'm 3-0 now. Alright, so I actually tried it in Solitaire and it came up with Necropotence as well, so probably not just a Doomsday Excruciator thing. But I guess I'm 3-0 now. So this is round 4. I make top 4 regardless, and my opponent was actually a pair down. They were a 1-1, so they probably never make top 4. Or they probably don't even if they win this round. Which is unfortunate. But that does actually mean that Senu might actually just... Like, he might just be having a chance of dying whenever you put Senu in your deck to the combo, which I guess is not that bad, but it does mean that if your opponent plays Excruciator and they don't have Altar, you lose, because it's impossible to not trigger the combo if you're going to try to win the game. Which is not great, since these are 2 of some of the best decks in the format. So I would imagine it comes up somewhat often. Or not like often, but yeah. I don't know when the last update was. I'm surprised no one else has said anything about it. They're playing Doomsday Nooze. I don't know what's going on here. They're playing Lake, I imagine. Just to all-in several mono-black combo deck. Kind of like mine. But Living Death is a better combo than anything else, I'd say. Maybe I am speaking too soon, though. I'm about to die. Living Death is pretty bad here now. They actually lose the game by playing Living Death, potentially. But maybe they can't win with what they have. I mean, they do just put a lot of stats in play. I do wonder if I just played a Doomsday against this deck, they'd probably just die, because reanimating Nooze wouldn't do anything if they don't play the actual combo, and even if they do, if they don't find it with Buried Alive. But it's not like it really matters because I have the altar anyway, and I don't have the Excruciator. But I can still draw it and win the game, potentially. There's a Living Death. Probably can't just do that. I would put 6 creatures in play. They would put 5. 2 Nooze. I mean, they just have more stats in play than me. I do have Altar, but what does that do? So I have 23 stats, or 23 power. Yeah, I'll wait. I'm probably dead. Well, they don't find anything there, but they have Animate, I think? Okay. I'm just dead. I guess I'll see what the kill is. See if they have the other combo, or if they're just like putting, or if they're just like casting Doomsday plus Altar as their win con. They probably don't play the actual infinite combo with Nooze to make infinite mana, and then have some mana sink. Because there would be no need when you have what they have. So I do wonder how you're supposed to beat Lost Legacy on Doomsday if you do that, or a Pithing Needle. Probably just duress your opponent a few times and just put a lot of creatures in play. Maybe play a Grave Titan. I mean, they probably don't play Unmarked Grave. Okay, yeah, they just have that. So they're playing the same deck as me, except instead of playing Cyclers plus Living Death, they're playing Necrotic Ooze, Buried Alive. So what tech do I have? I have Graveyard Hate for the Nooze thing, and then for the other thing, well, I have Lost Legacy, but otherwise I just try to race or hope they don't have it. I wonder if they play tutors. They probably do, like Wishclaw Talisman. Living End might be bad here, or Living Death. I'm not sure. Maybe Erebos is not that good, because they're reanimating like one thing. Like 3 is plenty. But I guess just having more is nice. Maybe I can get rid of a Duress. Or 2. Or not. I'll do this. I mean, I did say in the intro, I think, the deck tech, that Nooze was a bad matchup, because they're kind of just a faster combo deck, and Living Death doesn't really matter against them. It also, like, if you're playing Living Death on 4, you're winning at earliest turn 5. That hand does not function. Okay. I mean, this hand doesn't do anything, but it might be good. If they're just going for the Nooze. They were playing multiple copies of Nooze, which is interesting. Some Nooze decks that also have another combo just go 4 Buried Alive, 4 of whatever the best reanimation spell is, and then 1 copy of Nooze. Because playing Necrotic Ooze is essentially just playing a more expensive reanimation spell. Typically when people play more than 1 Nooze, it's because they're playing a all-in Ooze deck. And that means they have the other combo, which beats removal and Graveyard Hate potentially. Not at the same time though, because it allows you to win in response. But that doesn't work if you're reanimating Nooze, because it requires 3 cards other than Nooze. Okay, I could have Dreaded out Lost Legacy there. Maybe I still do. Probably not though. I guess maybe I do. Hmm. Maybe, I don't know. Like if I just played Doomsday, I would have just died. Because they can just play a creature and kill me if I do that. So I really need to have Alter before I can. But I am definitely naming Doomsday Excruciator. Because I already have the answer to the other combo. They have it in hand. They have Necrotic Ooze in hand as well. So how do they win? They have exactly Nooze plus this combo. How does Nooze win? They just put very few creatures in play, actually. They just put I guess they can put 4 Nooze, 1 Asmodeus, 1 Scourge Familiar in play. That's the only thing they have left to win. And I guess with Animate Dead, they can Altar of Dementia a couple times extra. I don't know, but if I play Doomsday, I do just die to a Necrotic Ooze potentially. So I can't really do that. But yeah, it should be very hard for them to win here. Oh, I didn't look for Duresses. Do they have Lost Legacy? I don't know. Probably should have checked. Or Graveyard Hate. So I should be able to just do nothing for a while. I don't know what they could be playing. I guess it could be Buried Alive. Or Ripples, yeah. Duress is dead. I'll just do nothing for a while. Basically, I'll just do nothing until I draw the Altar. Duress. Do I cycle? I think I do. Duress is dead here, pretty much. So I think it's kind of pointless to hold. Because they're never taking Duress, but... I mean, I'd rather have a random card than a Duress, I think. Though I can't draw Altar, so it's actually worse than a random card. But I could draw Cycler is the main idea. Living Death. That could be good if I can draw some Cyclers, which I cannot do apparently. So they hit Animate Dead, and I guess they're... oh, so they can reanimate my things with Animate Dead? Which, at best, is a Doomsday Excruciator. Oh, actually, if I play Doomsday... they are milling from Ripples. Okay, so Alter means Living Death is very questionable because they can just mill themselves while killing their board. Yeah, I was maybe supposed to just play Doomsday as soon as they played Ripples. I probably should have. But yeah, now I just can't. So I could actually lose this. They get Wish Claw maybe? Or did they just get Nooze? And just play it? I really should have taken a better look at their deck. They take Nooze and just play it, I guess. So Living Death is putting more creatures in play for them than me. Oh, they don't even play it, they play Buried Alive. So I guess they can combo now. And I guess their combo involves duressing me, maybe playing Lost Legacy, which I guess probably gets there. Well, if they draw enough of their deck, they actually can't just mill themselves with the altar, or they'll die. And if they're milling me, I'm putting more creatures in play. But they obviously just have duress. Alright, I'll just let them do whatever they're doing. Maybe I'll put this part at like 3 times speed or something. Probably not, because then it'll be like 60 gigabytes, the video. I tried it before. But if you're hearing this, I didn't do that. So they have 12 cards in deck. They can't draw any more, really. They can't draw 7 at least. Maybe. I mean, they can if they want to, I guess. If they just arrest Living Death. And they do. I wonder if they have Lost Legacy. I think they do. If they just Lost Legacy Doomsday plus Living Death. I mean, they could still lose to me drawing a Living Death and being able to play a creature and then just milling them out. They're almost milling themselves out right now. If they draw 2 more cards or mill 2 cards in any way, they die. But I imagine they just won't do that. But I think Living Death actually does win me the game. Even if I have no follow-up, because they just can't mill themselves. So they have to mill me if they want to actually put creatures in play. Oh, they actually can't deck out now. So they actually could just mill themselves if I played Living Death. They are dead to altar right now. But yeah, Asmodeus prevents you from decking. I forgot about that. Did they have Lost Legacy? Yes. So they name Doomsday, I would imagine? No. That does... Well, it could do something, but it doesn't really. Because they're already at low enough, or I could mill them out, but it's not like it matters when they have Asmodeus. So it's really just about Living Death, I guess. But I don't even win with Living Death, so I think they just win, regardless. I guess if I draw Scarab Feast plus Living Death, I would win. They named Doomsday. I don't know why. Probably should be Living Death that they're naming here. Are they taking the one from hand? They maybe shouldn't. But they do. Okay, I mean, I could win, I guess. It's technically possible. And maybe if they're naming Doomsday, they don't realize that Asmodeus prevents them from decking. But they're still gonna... No, because then they won't mill themselves in response to Living Death. So it would actually win me the game. But they probably do realize. I mean, that's why they reanimated it, I think. Well, it's also just the biggest creature, so. And I drew it, okay. Surely I don't find Scarab Feast as well. I'm not that lucky. But I am lucky enough to draw Altar, which also does nothing, but that's beside the point. Well, I guess let's see if they realize. Wait, they can just mill me out. Not that it matters. Or does it? Because I can put some creatures in play. Not even close to enough though, right? So who are they? They actually do mill me. Wow. It doesn't matter though, right? Because they're gonna put their thing back in play. And then mill me out while they have an Asmodeus in play. Can they mill me out? Because if they can't, I win. Yeah, they definitely can. So I am dead. Unless they concede to Altar for whatever reason. I guess if they mill me with Asmodeus in response to this. Wait, actually. Wait, what was the other card? Altar. Wait, they actually can't mill me out. Did they lose? They might actually lose. They actually can't mill me out. Because they don't have... Because they only have, Oh no, they have 19 power. They have exactly enough. Because they don't have Animate Dead on them. They have exactly enough to kill me. They actually would have lost if they had one less power. Wow. So I will do this. And I'll do this, why not? But yeah, they realize, of course. And they have exactly enough to kill me. I mean, even if they sacked Asmodeus here, they would still win. But they don't. So yeah, I am dead. I mean, yeah, I was dead long before I was actually dead. They could have just not milled me. No way they counted that and knew they had... I mean, they had more than exactly enough because of Asmodeus, but... Okay. So this is top 4. I don't know what my opponent is on. This hand would be better on the draw, but it's fine. I have 3 looks at a land. Maybe more with a Drit. So I'm not sure if I would want to play Drit. Probably would. My opponent mulls to 6. So they play a forest. What does that mean? Probably... So it's either Nadu or Primal Prayers, I'm guessing. Okay, I find a land. That's good. Not the best land, but it's fine. That is the best land, so that's great. So I'm guessing Primal Prayers because Nadu probably wouldn't play Forest Pass on turn 1. They would either play a tap land or a bop. Or some other 1-drop. So yeah, it looks like Simic Prayers. They have the Dwarport Mage. Living Death is great against this. I don't think they really play counters in the main. At most they play like 1 Forbidden, the bird counterspell, which doesn't actually work against Living Death, only against Excruciator. And I think I care about mostly just power. They have 4 toughness blockers, so... Okay, so I guess I'll do this. See if I can find something. We'll play Duress. No prayers. That's step through, which is irrelevant because they already have the mage. They have obstructionist, so Excruciator probably doesn't work. They could draw some cards. They could draw 2 cards with the Rampager right now. They don't have an untapped land. Wait, they don't make double green? Why? Why don't they just make double green? Do they have an ancestral? I don't know why they did that. I guess they did that on accident. Like, surely they wanted to draw a card there. Okay, so next turn I can go Living Death. Did they just go 6? So they're never beating this board outside of the actual combo, which would require them to have prayers, which they could have, I guess, if they drew it very recently. I guess they're gonna hold up 6. Okay. Actually, no, the combo doesn't... Does the combo work? It actually does. Because I think with prayers, you can actually free cast cards from the graveyard with 6. So they could go... So they could go Prayers, 6, Doorport Mage, Rampager if they have a land. Obviously they would need the Prayers for that. I could actually disrupt the combo by milling them. Which would actually require them to draw the Labman early. Okay, so with this I can prevent them from top decking a Prayers. Oh, they actually had a main deck Forbid. It's usually a 1-of, I think. I probably should have put Island on the bottom, whatever. So they are probably just dead here. Interesting that they waited to cycle Bird. I guess because of Architects. Yeah, I should have put the island at the bottom. That was a misplay. But they probably just don't have the prayers, yeah. So this is the matchup Void Mirror is for. It turns off their combo. Well, I mean, it just means that prayers does nothing. So what else do I want? Duress is good because their counterspell is Forbid. I'm not really afraid of the bird that much. Archfiend could be okay. It's probably not the greatest, though. Ritual of Soot, again, could be okay. I guess Archfiend is probably better. I'll do this. I don't think it's worth playing Ritual of Soot, even though they do have relevant cards that I would want to kill. Okay. This is not bad. It does need to draw some things, like an actual combo. Well, it doesn't even have a part of a combo, right? No. Why are they saying this? What did they do? Did they not mean to mulligan? Did they forget to sideboard? Or forget to click submit? I'm guessing they forgot to submit. No, they did submit. Otherwise it would have gone the full 2.5 minutes. Or however long it is. I guess they did have prayers in hand. And they drew the land because of the obstructionist too, so my punt could have mattered. So yeah, they might have actually had it because of my misplay. I mean, they could have already had another land, maybe. Probably not. Void Mirror is also turning off the Ancestral. They could have a bounce spell though. Well, I guess they have the... I guess with the energy ritual creature, they were more likely to win. It was definitely not guaranteed though, I could have... Because I didn't have any extra energy. So yeah, I needed to mill both the energy ritual and the lab man. I cycle horror. I'm never going to play it because it never even comes close to getting there. Also, they suspended double ancestral. Yeah, that's not going to work out so well. I'll just duress here. See if I can hit prayers or forbid. Arachnogenesis, what? I mean, it does something against living death. It's not really what you want, though. So now they have nothing in hand. I mean, I guess the idea is it stalls against the creatures long enough for them to assemble their combo. I mean, I still have 0 ways to actually win. I guess I should have played horror. That actually would have mattered. This thing isn't strong enough to play. Horror would be, though. Archfiend would be great, I guess. What is this? 4 mana? 4 mana blue card. What is that? Step through for Doorport Mage. Okay. Oh. Oh. That is in fact lethal. Okay, so I'm now in the finals. Alright, so this is the finals. This hand is good. Very good. But it's a pretty bad matchup, and I might lose despite having this really good hand. Duress does do a lot of work here. So this is the same opponent I faced in the last round of the Swiss. It's just alter, right? if my opponent just puts a Excruciator in play, I can just kill them. They do have Animate dead, so I don't want to just let them reanimate a thing. Though if they reanimate something before Living Death, maybe it doesn't matter. So if I find a 1-mana cycler, I definitely just play the thing, the Living Death. And I do find it. So I put 3 creatures in play and hope that's enough. They are missing a land, so they can't play Excruciator, even though it doesn't really matter. If they have another Drit, they can. Okay, they buried alive. Wait, I could die. I could die right now. They have lethal with a swamp. No, they don't. They don't have lethal with a swamp. Wait, what did they get? Doomsday? So I guess they already have the thing in hand. They already have the, I forget the name. Why am I forgetting? The Asmodeus in hand. So they win if they reanimate Nooze still. Which is a bit of an issue because I can't do anything about that. Though it is possible that Mill does do something here. I could play Archfiend with mana up, but it doesn't do anything because I can't actually hold it up on my opponent's turn. So I'm just going play this land, cast, alter, cycle Archfiend. I hope alter gets there. I could play Living Death because it does disrupt the combo, but that would not be a good play, I think. Because I would just lose. So they go Animate dead. I'm pretty sure I'm dead. So they discard Asmodeus. They leave Excruciator in hand. So, essentially, I need to mill. They need to not draw an altar in like the top 35 cards. If they have an altar in their top 35 from the start of their turn, they win. So I am probably just dead. I am almost certainly just dead, dare I say. So they can only draw one more time before they die. Wait, no, they can draw 2 more times. Oh yeah, then they just do that. So I guess what I need to do is mill all 3 copies of the altar right now. And even if I do that, I could still lose. No, probably not. No, they have duress though. So they could just take Drit. So I couldn't play the Excruciator if I drew it. And I am drawing it, potentially, with Wishclaw. But I die regardless, I think. Drawing in response doesn't do anything. What? No way it actually worked. Only one more. Okay, they win. I have plenty of mana. Yeah. So, Graveyard Hate is good. Lost Legacy is good. Duress, of course. It's just such a tough matchup. I mean, I had a great hand, but they just had any kind of combo, so they won. It's probably a misplay, but whatever. Like, does Living Death ever get there? Unless I get it super quickly. Possibly with duress as well. I don't think it really ever gets there. I think I died. I think I lost. I do have to move to 5. I can't keep this. Oh? Maybe I won. Did I win? Well, I didn't win the match, that's for sure. So I put back Swamp rather than the Canyon Slough, because if I don't play a Cycler, it's very suspicious. And kind of makes them think I just have the Alter Doomsday combo. Where playing Slough means that I could definitely just have Cyclers in hand, I just haven't had a time to play them yet. So I don't lose to Duress right now, I win. Okay. I mean, I just need to have the turn 3 kill and them to not have Duress or a faster kill. I mean, on the draw, if they have a turn 3 kill, they win. They beat my turn 3 kill. But I got there this game, so I just need to get really lucky one more time. Luckier than this game. So how likely am I actually to win if I just have the turn 3? It's probably around 50-50, right? I have to have either duress or a faster or a turn 3 kill. Okay, this is a really good hand. I have turn 1 duress. I mean, Excruciator would be really good right now. Oh. I have to take Alter here. I mean, I could definitely win from this position. I have the answer to their combo, the only one they have in hand. I am dead to Swamp, or Drit, I mean, off the top. Okay. I mean, if I top deck Excruciator, I win. No, I don't. What am I saying? I wouldn't win yet. So I probably would just play it, maybe? I'm not sure. Probably not, actually, because it can disrupt the altar, but not the Excruciator. So they buried alive. I don't think it's correct to Scarab Feast yet. I'd rather wait for them to animate. Though it does kind of just turn off their entire combo involving Animate Dead. I'd rather wait for them to spend mana and also get rid of their Animate Dead, because it could definitely be relevant on like my creature or some other creature. Okay, I should just win. It might take a little while for me to actually win though. I mean, I'm probably winning this tournament from here. It's pretty likely. Okay, so I play Scarab Feast, I exile Scourge, Nooze, Asmodeus. If they were to play an Excruciator, I could go Rot Beast plus Altar. And just... Well, it wouldn't win yet, so I actually could lose. If that happened. Wait, what? Ow. Okay, so they have a Swamp in hand? No? Okay. I mean, I just play Doomsday. I always just play Doomsday here. They die to Ripples. And then I just also have... No, I don't have Altar if I do that. So I'll just play Altar here because they can't duress me now. They could have Lost Legacy. And that could actually win. But I do have Living Death still. So I could still put 3 creatures in play and probably be winning. I have Duress. That does nothing. I mean, it takes my Duress. Do they concede? I think they're dead. I can't imagine they have something here. Pretty sure I've won. They're just thinking if there's any way they can possibly win this game. I mean, I could play Lake before tapping a Swamp. That's probably the main way. I could just decide not to play it for no reason. They could have Dritlaw's Legacy somehow. They should have taken Living Death to bait me into playing the Duress first. I could have tapped the Slew for a red mana and then realized after I had already used the Lake. Wait, can you undo that? I don't know. Actually, I think you can undo that. Alright, there's the GG. So I actually managed to beat this deck somehow. Actually a nightmare matchup. And I won the tournament. Alright, so the tournament is over. I went 5-1 and won the tournament. So this is basically a stock list pretty much of Living Death. Actually most people are not playing a Ratchet Bomb like I am. And I think that's wrong because you should really have some kind of Answer Needle, and it's just good against aggro, which is probably the most important matchup to tech for, even though it's not the hardest. But it's also like you can't really do that much for other matchups. Like you obviously play 4 Duress in the 75 4 grid in the sideboard. for counterspell decks, but then you don't really have anything to do against them. So you have like Graveyard Hate for the mirror and other combo decks, like the Nooze deck I just faced. And then what do you even play? You just play removal, because like what else can you play? Lost Legacy for other combo decks? But otherwise, yeah, you just play removal for aggro. So this is the second place. Very similar deck, except instead of the Living Death combo, they have the Nooze, Buried Alive, Animate Dead thing. They have Tutors instead of Cyclers. I think the deck is probably overall worse. It's weaker to Thalia. And yeah, I mean, I think it's really just better in the combo mirror. That's the main upside to playing this deck. So actually, the entire top 4 was combo. 3 of them had Excruciator, and then there was 1 Primal Prayers. But yeah, this deck is the Doomsday plus Hive Mind deck. So you play your Hive Mind off Lake as well as Excruciator. And you just play Pact if it's Hive Mind. You have to play Altar first if it's Doomsday. But yeah, if you have Lake, it's just a very easy turn 3 kill. And you play a bunch of Tutors, so it should be a pretty consistent turn 4 kill. Which Living Death doesn't have. It doesn't really have a consistent kill on any turn, really. Because you often rely on drawing into something. Unlike these other combo decks, which will almost always win on turn 4, unless they get unlucky. And then Prayers has done very well in tournaments, mostly because of Violet Avi. But some other players have done really well with the deck too. I don't know if this is stock or not. Seems like it's probably Violet Avi's list. But not much Legends, it looks like. It was just 2 Boros Legends and a White Weenie. And that was actually heroic. So only 2 Legends as the only Thalia aggro. And Angels, I guess, plays Thalia. But yeah, so of the last 4 tournaments now, I won 3 of them and got second in the other one. So yeah, this deck seems really good. And it does still feel like I'm just getting lucky, but I mean, if you consistently get lucky, it's not luck, I guess. So yeah, I might actually bring this to the Super Saturday, which is next Saturday from now, which is at so it's Monday right now, and next Saturday, so like 5 days from now, is the tournament. Has over 200 ticks and prizes. I said I was going to bring Azorius Control, but I might actually bring Living Death now. I'll have to see. I'll probably try playing this deck a little bit more, see if I can continue doing really well with it. If I don't, I'll probably go back to Azorius. But yeah, that's the tournament.